The Second World War is at its peak. No country is leaving any stone unturned to show that humanity does not exist. Wherever they find soldiers, they ruthlessly kill them or take them as captives to their country. For instance, a Chinese warship currently holds thousands of Japanese and American soldiers captive, who have been enduring atrocities for God knows how long. Now, all of them have been caught in the battlefield and will be imprisoned in a brutal jail. But before the ship could touch land, fighter jets attack it and it is sunk into the water in an instant. When the morning sun rises, we see that some people are lying unconscious on a small island at the edge of the continent, including a Japanese man named Taro. He has chains on his feet. This shows he was on the same ship that sank during the night, but he wasn't the only one. There were 2 other people, one American and one unknown. But that person is already dead, but we don't know whether the American is alive or not. Therefore, Taro takes out a gun and quietly, but just then he gets up and a fierce fight starts between them. During this, we notice that both of their feet are shackled with the chains connected to each other. This means that both of them are prisoners of war. Now, they are stuck on this strange island, but their fight is still not stopping. Andrew is overpowering Taro when suddenly a dark shadow begins to drag Andrew into the depths of the ocean. At the right moment, Taro shoots at it with his gun, causing whatever it was to flee. But seeing this dark shadow makes both of them calm down. They realize that fighting like this won't lead to anything, and if they want to survive, they will have to stick together. Otherwise, one will not live long after killing the other. So now they first search around the island for some useful things, during which they find some boxes that have drifted from the same ship, with some corpses nearby. Seeing them convinces them that the ship carrying them was damaged near this island. Upon opening those boxes, they find that they won't have to worry about food and drink for a few days, because they contain enough supplies to survive for a while. But what will happen after that, they don't know. With the help of those tools, Taro caught fish and cooked them before it got dark, then gave them to Andrew, who ate them with great relish because both had been hungry for a long time. But now they need to think ahead about what to do next, because just lying around here won't make any sense. But before that, they need to free themselves from these chains. Then Taro remembered that he had found that tool in the box, so he started striking, but it wasn't yielding any result. Then Taro suggested striking the farthest side of the chains, meaning the ankle side, which sounded a bit strange to Andrew, because even a slight miss could cost him his foot. But Taro was confident about it, so he insisted, and he was right. With one strike, the chain broke and both were free. Andrew was quite happy. He was walking with free feet after who knows how many months. The sound of the chain breaking seemed to stir up a commotion there. A flock of birds began flying in the sky, and during this, Taro heard the sound of someone walking from behind the bushes. When he went to see it, he found strange backward footprints. Meanwhile, they saw 2 Japanese soldiers bringing a local fisherman toward the island, which seemed concerning to them. But now Andrew is worried about getting caught because they've left evidence of their presence there. If they come under their scrutiny, they could be in trouble. But here Taro decides to handle them himself and tells Andrew to hide. As the 2 approach, they notice some smoldering ashes, making them even more alert. Then they saw a person lying nearby. They removed the sheet to find Taro, and upon hearing him speak Japanese, they realized he was from their country. He lied, saying he had drifted here in the morning. But now he doesn't know where to go. Andrew was watching all this from behind the bushes when suddenly he noticed something strange a short distance away, also observing those people. It was an extinct creature, one neither Andrew nor the world had ever seen before. In his heart, he's just hoping that thing doesn't notice him. As soon as he blinked, it disappeared as if into thin air. Meanwhile, the soldiers noticed 2 water bottles. They grew suspicious, but Taro dismissed it as a pretext. However, one soldier's eyes fell on an American uniform lying nearby, which Andrew had taken off, and he signaled this to the other soldiers. The 2 then stood up and quickly removed the sheet over Taro, revealing the broken chain pieces on his feet. This proved to them that he wasn't an ordinary soldier but a prisoner of war who had betrayed his country. Before they could punish him, a growling sound came from the direction of the bushes. Upon hearing it, the fisherman said in a terrifying voice that it had come. "I told you not to come here. It's come back. It has caught our scent. The only word on his tongue was fish-headed man. It seems as if he has seen him before. The soldier who went inside starts looking around when suddenly a dark shadow comes behind him, and as soon as he turns, in one swift motion, his hand is severed from his body. The screams of that young man chill the blood of all the people standing outside. And taking advantage of this opportunity, Andrew goes outside and finishes off the remaining soldier by stabbing him in the throat. And then both of them went and hid behind a rock. Now the only one left there was the lone fisherman, whose face was marked by the fear of death, and soon he too was going to meet a painful end. So he started running, but he couldn't go far, and the demon made a long leap and sank its teeth into his back, causing the poor fellow to die right there. Seeing the horror, they turned towards the jungle, and while running, they didn't realize that it was following them. Suddenly, Andrew's foot twisted and he fell right there. It was the first time he had seen the demon so close. Its strange smell seemed to indicate that Andrew was its next prey. But Taro will not let this happen. He struck it and pushed it back and then started running again with Andrew. While running, they didn't realize when they got separated and fell into a deep ravine. Morning came and Andrew regained consciousness. He didn't see the demon in front of him, which gave him a bit of relief. On the other hand, Taro's condition was a bit serious. A piece of wood had pierced his shoulder, causing him considerable pain. However, the place where he is stuck seemed safe to Andrew because he was stuck over a waterfall, the edge of which was about to break. Before he could stabilize himself, he slipped and fell into the cold water. But somehow he managed to stabilize himself and swam to the shore. Just then, he noticed in the distance on a rock, the demon standing there. It was growling at him as if it was extremely angry. Andrew now understands that if he wants to save his life, there is only one way, and he has to go back to the same seashore. That's why he starts walking against the river's flow. But he is already tired. Moreover, his body is wet, causing pain to start in his joints. But he did not give up and kept walking. After coming quite a distance, he decides to stop and rest for a while. But when he turned his neck to the right, there was a huge crocodile sitting there, which made him hold his breath. Andrew is completely trembling. But if he makes even the slightest move, he will be the next meal in its mouth. That's why he exercised patience, resulting in the crocodile ignoring him and quietly going into the water. He chose the mountainous path which would quickly take him to the shore. During this time, he again saw the demon sitting by the riverbank, cleaning its wounds. Just then, a crocodile emerged from the water and pulled it inside. Seeing this, Andrew becomes very happy. At least it's dead now. But the very next moment, it came back out and tore the crocodile's jaws apart with its own hands. Seeing this, his breath quickened, realizing that this is indeed extremely dangerous. That's why he increased his pace. On the other hand, Taro, limping along the river path, found his own sword, which was a very good thing for him. But not only this, going further, he noticed a corpse hanging from a tree. As soon as he went close to it, he fell into a pit where there was something that made his eyes widen. Where his eyes remained wide open, it was the demon's son there, but dead. Which means not only him, but his entire family is here. So now he gathered courage, pulled himself out, and went to the corpse, which was of a pilot who had hung there. The demon's son must have died from his bullet because he found some bullets near it. Taro took the gun from his hand and then moved forward. But now the path has ended. He will have to go through the dense jungles which could be dangerous. But it has to be done. That's why he gathered courage and moved forward. After going a little further, he found the crashed fighter jet of that same pilot. Slowly the day began to fade, which means the alarm of danger is going to ring today, because the darker it gets, the greater the threat to life. Now, while wandering, Andrew reached the same crashed plane. But he didn't proceed from there, because he got an idea to make sharp weapons from the metal of this plane. So he got involved in that work, and after a while, he prepared a sharp spear with which he could defend himself. Meanwhile, he got hold of some more items present in the cockpit. But the most important thing was an active missile attached under the plane, which set his mind ringing. Meanwhile, someone comes from behind him, and it turns out to be Taro, who spotted him, and both of them come together once again. He said that there is a cave ahead where he saw some strange things. So both of them go inside the cave where a giant egg was hanging, which belonged to the same demon. Andrew immediately said to break it here and finish it off. Otherwise, they will keep moving forward and continue killing people. But Taro said that if they did that, it would become even angrier, which could be dangerous for them. So Andrew gets an idea in his mind. Why not use that missile to kill the monster along with the nest? Taro agreed. Then both of them, with great difficulty, detached the missile from the plane and brought it near the cave. But now another new problem has arisen. The missile's timing can only be fixed with a tool like a wrench. But they don't have any such tool. Then Andrew remembered the axe that was in the cockpit, so he quickly ran and brought it back. But now it has rusted, making it seem impossible to get it out. Meanwhile, the monster has returned to the cave. Taro alone was ready to fight it because Andrew still couldn't get the axe out. Alone, Taro. Now Taro alone is not enough for it, causing it to toss him around harshly. Just then, Andrew suddenly managed to pull out the axe and started hitting the monster with it again and again. Now both of them were fighting the monster together. When the monster realized they were getting the upper hand, it suddenly disappeared into the darkness. Then Andrew felt the time had come and immediately went to fix the timer. But meanwhile, the monster returned and pounced on Andrew. It tore open his entire abdomen with its claw. Taro, standing behind, tried hard to push it away, but nothing was working, and in anger he shot at the egg, causing the embryo inside to fall to the ground. Seeing this, the monster seemed to go mad with anger and become completely enraged. Meanwhile, Andrew realized that his time had come. He told Taro to leave, but Taro wasn't listening. How could he leave him alone like that? But what could he do? He had to leave. So he went out, and moments later, a terrible explosion occurred in the cave, and everything ended in the flames. With slow steps, he began to head towards the shore. But then we learned something that was mind-blowing. The monster was still alive. Yes, even that massive explosion did not cause much damage to it. But now Taro had decided either defeat or success. He took out his samurai sword, approached it, and attacked it stealthily several times. Although he gets badly injured, he brought the monster to its knees but did not kill it. Because he knew the truth that the creature he was attacking was in its own home and they were all outsiders destroying its habitat. That's why he left it as it was and departed from there, and after firing a flare, he fainted right there. When he opened his eyes, he was on an American Navy ship, and they found Andrew's American Army wallet with him, which they examined seriously and asked what really happened to him. So Taro looked outside and began to tell his own story. He got lost in the memories of those days when his friend Andrew sacrificed himself so that he could survive. And finally, we see the same monster on that island, now waiting for its next prey. And the story ends with this scene. Well, let us know in the comments how you liked the story. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.